Good afternoon. It's great to see people working on Labor Day.
Talk a little bit about Richard Lego's performance.
Sure. I thought he made some really good throws and good decisions. I talked to him last night about it. I think there was about 3 to 5 plays in that game that he's got to do a better job of taking care of the ball. And you take those 3 to 5 out, then he played really well, and he was a strength of our offense out there. Well, we knew going into it was going to be hard. They supposedly got like 5 probably first-round draft choices up front. They played 7 defensive ends and 5 inside guys. So that's obviously, you can add that up, but they're playing about 3 deep at 4 positions. And, we basically had 6 offensive linemen playing. And, they're good up front. They do a lot of different things. They move on you, and they were blitzing and things like that. So we knew as a staff, offensive staff, going into the game, we're going to have to throw the ball. And they're really hard to put drives together against. And so, therefore, we knew we were going to have to throw the ball down the field to take up some of those yards. And in the first half, I feel like we were doing that, and really most of the third quarter we were doing that. We just, as Coach Allen just talked about, we just didn't finish at the end.
Do you think the offense handled your tempo well on Thursday?
Yeah, very well. I thought we were playing fast and getting lined up quick and all that, and we just didn't have the opportunity to wear them down in the second half. Like we wanted to. We had, we had 1 3-and-out in the first half, whereas we had 5 in the second half. So the wear-down effect we never were able to get because of the 3-and-outs in the second half.
Who are some of the players that you think will have to step up with Westbrook out?
Well, Coach just talked about that. Same guys, guys that we've kind of highlighted there. So same guys. He played very well also. Both those guys on the outside played very well and did a really nice job. And, those are guys that have obviously great size and great hands, and they're, they play physical. And I thought both of them on the outside played very well.
How does Luke's role change with Nick going? He was talking about how after the game, he was talking about how he just wasn't expected to play that much before the end.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Luke was saying that after Nick got hurt, he just was on the field a lot more than he expected to be. How much does his role change going forward?
Well, he'll play a lot. He was going to play a lot. I don't know, where he got that idea, but he was going to play a lot, and we were going to use Nick at both inside and outside, to spell some guys. But Luke was going to play a lot and played very well. No.
What needs to be done to improve the rushing at 0.6 yards per carry? Not going to get it done.
I understand that one. We obviously we've got to block better, and we had 18 plays where I actually called runs, but we have RPOs off of those. And so those 18 plays, we ended up throwing the ball because of the look that we got. Of those 18 plays, we completed 11 of them, and we averaged over 6 yards per attempt, and we averaged over 9 yards per completion on those 18 plays. So as Coach just talked about, we got to be a better running football team than what we were in that game, and we will be. But yet, those were some big plays in that game. We ran the counter down in the goal line or down the red area, the tight red area, on 3rd down, and actually pulled it and hit Simi for a touchdown. So there were a lot of big plays in that game when we had runs called.
What are some of your early impressions of Virginia?
Well, different scheme, totally different scheme than what we just saw. They're an odd defense, which means you'll have a nose guard right over the center. You'll have 2 tackles or 2 defensive ends over our tackles with 2 outside linebackers and 2 inside linebackers. So the scheme, the front is totally different. And then coverage-wise, very multiple, a lot more multiple than what we saw last week in coverage-wise. So, it's, again, the front will be basically the same, more or less, but the coverages will be a lot different.
Your numbers against Ohio State as far as number of alignment, how much does it help? And I know it's early, and he's just come back and getting Brandon Knight back in the mix and having him as another guy that you might be able to run out there.
Yeah, he's one of our best offensive linemen. So, when he's totally healthy and ready to go, then we'll, bring him in, and we'll see how that goes this week, where we are with him. But it just creates more strength for us.
Playing that center position, how do you determine, I guess, who goes out when, or how do you kind of divvy up the snaps there?
How do we change the snaps this week?
Plays when?
Well, a lot of it will go back to practice this week, who practices well, and, we'll make another decision just like we did going into this week with it. We knew we were going to play both guys in this game, and, I'm sure I talked to Harry yesterday, I think it was, or day before, but I said, what was your impression, playing? And he said, Coach, it was so much slower than practice. And that's a positive win. You want it to slow down for kids when it gets into game time. You want them to know what they're doing so they can line up and go do it. And that's what his impression was, that the game was slower than practice. So I thought that was good on his part. Well, I don't have any freshman offensive linemen I've been around that have played in there, but no, not normally. Harry's a guy, you get to know him, he's quiet, doesn't talk a lot. In fact, sometimes we got to get him to talk and give calls up front a little bit more so, But he's confident, he's a confident player, but yet very quiet, and I thought he played well for a freshman going in there against that defense. Sure. Ian, I thought played really well in the passing game. The touchdown there that he made, the catch was, really impressive. He had 5 total catches, and he's got to do better in the running game part of it, just using his hands a little bit. And we thought basically our offensive line and tight ends, everybody up front needed to use their hands a little bit better. So we got to improve that in our run game. And then Ryan Watercutter went in and had 12 snaps, and those were in the critical part of the game, and he really played well. When we were running the ball, his guy didn't make the tackle, and then he that one catch he made when the ball got tipped was, a great catch. When you're going away from it and the ball's down low, that catch is not usually made. So thought he did a really good job.
Mike, how about Caleb Jones? Has he got a chance to step up at some point and be a factor on the offensive line?
Sure. Another freshman offensive lineman, tackle, and, we'll see how the season goes. You never know. You'd always like the redshirt freshman offensive lineman, but it'll just depend on how this season goes with injuries and things like that. But he's with our second group the entire practice, Don, and he just continues to get better. He's going to be a really good football player.
Mike, when you play Crowder against that defense, his first game as a freshman, I don't want to say it's unfair because it's not, but it's still, did you have to pause before you said you really want to have him have his first game against that kind of defense?
No, only because he displayed in practice that he can play and play very well. So we really didn't hesitate. We had a plan going into it when he would play, and again, he did a good job. Thank you.